It was meant to be a quick stop on our drive home from Portland to Seattle. The weather report had called for light snow, but once we crossed into southern Washington, those gentle flurries turned into a full whiteout. My name is Laura Bennett. I'm 39, a lifelong resident of Seattle. That afternoon, my sister Emma had called, asking if I could pick up her 10-year-old son Caleb from his winter camp since she was stuck working late in Eugene. I didn't hesitate for a second. I adore Caleb, bright, witty, endlessly curious. He has that rare ability to make you laugh when you least expect it. The trip to collect him went smoothly enough, but on our way back, the storm swallowed us. My aging Subaru fought its way through the drifts until we reached a small town called Ridgefield. The main highway was already blocked by a fallen tree. The local motel's glowing "no vacancy" sign made it clear we wouldn't be getting a room. The only place still open was the old community library, unlocked by the town's sheriff for stranded travelers. Inside, just one other family sat huddled near a heater, along with a kind volunteer librarian, Mrs. Hall. She led Caleb and me to a quiet corner with 2 blankets and a small propane heater. Outside, the wind roared against the building, rattling the windows, while the light inside flickered every so often. Caleb's gaze roamed over the tall, shadowed shelves before he whispered, "Aunt Laura, this place feels like it's hiding stories." Smiled. "Every building has stories if you know where to look." Time crawled by. The storm made leaving impossible. Around midnight, the other family left with a relative who had a large truck, leaving just Mrs. Hall, Caleb, and me. Caleb drifted off for a while, but woke suddenly, shivering even under the blanket. I held his hand to comfort him. That's when he whispered something that sent a deeper chill through me, one that had nothing to do with the cold. "Aunt Laura," he said, eyes wide and solemn. "I heard a man calling my name, but he sounded like Uncle Peter." Peter was my late husband. He had died in a car accident 2 years earlier. Caleb and he had been close, but I rarely spoke of him anymore. It hurt too much. "Maybe you were dreaming," I suggested gently. Caleb shook his head. "No," I heard him say. "Don't let her go." And then I saw a shadow behind the bookshelves. The library was dim, lit only by the soft, uneven glow of the propane heater that threw strange shapes across the walls. My heart pounded as I took the flashlight and walked slowly toward the far shelf. The only sounds were the creaks of the old building and the whistling wind outside. No one was there. When I returned, Caleb was still wide awake, watching me. "Do you think he's watching over us?" he asked. I hesitated. I wanted to believe Peter was somehow still here, protecting us. But I also didn't want to fuel a child's fears with possibilities I couldn't explain. The night stretched on. Each time the wind battered the glass, Caleb squeezed my hand. I told him stories about the days when Peter and I had first met, and for a while I saw his smile return. By morning the storm had passed, and the sheriff came back to tell us the roads were clear. On the drive home, Caleb was quiet until he suddenly said, "Aunt Laura, last night I wasn't scared. I think Uncle Peter meant that you shouldn't give up on being happy." His words stayed with me. Since Peter's death, I'd been living as though my life were paused. Maybe Caleb was right. Maybe Peter's message, whether it came from a dream, a memory, or something beyond, was for me to begin living again. When we finally reached Seattle, I hugged Caleb a little tighter. Sometimes the clearest wisdom comes from unexpected voices, even from a child in the middle of a winter storm, in an old library that still feels like it's guarding its own secrets.